Hi guys, so it's me again, your speech instructor, and so what I wanted to do was give you guys just a little rundown of Moodle and how everything's set up in the class, and then also some like high points from our syllabus, so you can definitely be prepared for all the work that is coming your way. So first of all, announcements. This is what you'll see on the homepage. I will have that updated where it has my photo. But this is what you'll see on the homepage, and you'll see announcements. Please check the announcements. That's very important. I will post announcements regularly. And so we do have one right here that says read me first, and that just also is kind of a written commentary of what I'm about to show you right now with the online class. So you log in. The first thing that you have to look at is the course syllabus. You have to look at that and the policy statements before you can move forward, because you have to complete that activity. But just to pop over to the syllabus really quickly. So I do have it set up in Google Drive, so you can just very easily see it. You don't have to download a file or anything, but you can print it if you want to. So just a little bit of information up here. My office hours are Monday, Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30, Tuesday from 1:45 to 4:45, and then I do have online office hours on Thursday and Friday from noon until 2:30. So especially during these times on Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, I'm especially available to Skype or FaceTime whenever you need to. So I will actually be in my physical office then. So, and even on Thursday and Friday, I very likely will be able to do some type of video chat if need be. So hopefully you have our book. It's the 12th edition of The Art of Public Speaking. Go to the book rental program, make sure that you have the correct one. And then just to run down a few of the things that are really important. Email communication, please make sure that you email me at my Southeastern email address. It's pretty basic, I know. That's our policy here. Tech support, if you are having some type of tech support issue, it is your responsibility to contact tech support and get that handled. So this is an online class. You will have dozens of online assignments, and just saying, oh, Moodle wasn't working, that's not really going to cut it. You have to contact tech support. And that's also why you should work ahead, because you never know. Computers do die, things happen, the power goes out. So if you've waited until 5 minutes before something is due, then it's kind of an issue. So right here under grades, I have all of the assignments that you are going to have to do for this class. The very first thing that you're going to have to do is complete a signed contract. You will actually have to print the signed contract out, sign it. If you're under 18, you'll also have to get your parent's signature as well. And then you'll have to snap a photo of it and upload it to Moodle. This is also just a very good exercise for you to learn how to attach a document to Moodle. And then you'll have to do a syllabus quiz and also your first chapter summary, which is going to be all due by Sunday, I do believe, but we'll look down. But anyway, so this is just a list of everything that you're going to have to do. The first, in Unit 1, you'll not have to give a speech. You'll make an introduction video, which I will walk you through how to do. And then you see that you will have an informative, an oral interpretation, a persuasive speech, and a special occasion speech. So 4 speeches that you will have to give, and you will have to give them in front of an audience of 5. So just be aware of that. You don't ever have to come to campus, but you do have to get an audience of 5 to give your 4 speeches. But we'll cover that much more extensively later. But anyway, so this is just a rundown of all the things that you have to do, your homework assignments, your chapter summaries. You'll notice that there aren't any quizzes. I'm doing chapter summaries this semester instead of doing quizzes. So just moving down, workshop attire, that is very important. When you are giving your speech, make sure that you are in business dress, so you don't need to be like in hoodies, definitely don't need to be wearing hats, you definitely don't need to be chewing gum, but you want to be dressed nicely, like you would maybe for a job interview, or if you go to church, maybe how you dress to go to church. And so, moving along, also course policies. So up here I have some information about us needing to be civil in class. You will be watching each other's speeches extensively and commenting on them, and even critiquing them at times. And so just because you critique someone doesn't mean that you're being mean or that you're being hateful. And then also, especially when you are commenting on someone else's speech or when you're giving your speech yourself, you never are allowed to exhibit any kind of racist or homophobic or anything, or sexism. None of that is acceptable in this class. So we have free speech, but we also have the responsibilities that come with free speech in this class. Attendance policy, very important. It's an online class. You don't actually have to attend. So first of all, that means that theoretically you should be able to do your work from anywhere. So normal excuses don't necessarily work in an online class. But if you do not log in for 2 weeks consecutively, so if you miss 6 consecutive assignments, you will be dropped from the class. So that's the equivalent of missing more than 3 days, which would be if this were a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that would be all you could miss. So if you miss more than 6 assignments, you will be dropped. Just remember that. And in that case, you would probably already be in failing territory, so it would probably actually be better for you to be dropped rather than to stay in it and try to see if you can, not get an F. So once again, this is an online class, and so I have a little note here about how catastrophic instances do occur. I do understand. But if you come to me and you say, oh, I couldn't upload my speech today because I had a dentist appointment to get my teeth cleaned, even though it's a doctor's appointment, that doesn't really fly, because you have already known when the speech was due for, in some cases, months, and you need to schedule those things around that, or you also just need to work ahead. So working ahead is probably the easiest thing to do in an online class. You can work super far ahead. So you will have 4 speeches. I will not accept late speeches. So if you submit a late speech, you automatically will get a 0, period. I have over 100 online students, and I simply do not have the time to try and run down and chase down late speeches. So if you don't care enough to get it in on time, I am not going to take the time to grade it. So you have to have those speeches in on time. You know when they are due from the very beginning of the semester. I will not surprise you with any, oh, pop due date. No, I won't do that. I've told you from the very beginning when everything is due. Mark your calendars, get your work done. Outlines and visual aids, you will have to obviously turn those into Moodle. They will always be due before the speech, and they'll be due by a certain time. Homework, you will have 5 homework assignments, and then you also will have various chapter summaries. And so I do accept those as late, but I do count off points, 10% per day. So it gets to a point where, if you already have an F, then there's just no point in you submitting it anymore. So I will accept late work on the homework and the chapter summaries, but just know that if it gets to a certain point where it's so late that it's not going to matter if you turn it in or not. Speech submission guidelines. So what you will have to do is you'll have to upload your speeches to YouTube. They have to be uploaded to YouTube, period. And then you will post your YouTube videos in the discussion forum, and I will have a separate video showing you how to do that, and I also have a separate video showing you how to upload to YouTube. You can use a phone. You cannot use a webcam, although I'm using my webcam to film this right now, but that's only because I'm screencasting. So you cannot use a webcam. You have to use some type of camera, preferably a camera on a tripod. And there is a long list of speech submission guidelines which will follow the syllabus. I'm not going to go over them in depth, but it is your responsibility to read it. And there will especially be questions about the speech submission guidelines on the syllabus quiz, which will be your first, not really big grade, but a little bit bigger grade. Course calendar. So once again, I have gone down through the list, and everything that is due is on this list. You see the date, you see the time, whatever. So you know when everything is due. So you have roughly 3 assignments per week. Some weeks you see you will have 4, but that's because maybe one of the assignments is just to post something very small to the discussion board, like letting me know when your proctored midterm exam appointment is. Sometimes you'll only have 2. So this week is midterm, so that means that you will only have 2 assignments because you have a major test, and then you also have a speech to turn in. So you will see, like I said, the max is 4, some weeks 3, some weeks 2, even this last week, all you have to do is the final exam. So just be aware of that. And then down here, we have the etiquette policy, which you do need to read, but then also the technical speech requirements for public speaking online. This is very, very important, and it's probably the most important part of this syllabus for you to read aside from the calendar. So you need to read it in depth. You will need a decent camera to record your speeches with, so you cannot use the webcam on your computer, and in many cases because your computer may have to be shown to show your visual aid. And so a camera on your phone is usually okay. Now, I will say that not all camera phones are created equally. If you have an iPhone, they typically have stellar quality. Some of the droids, especially like if you have like a Straight Talk droid or something like that, some of them have good cameras and some of them are not. And so you will see as you go down through here that there's a 50% penalty if you do not follow the technical speech requirements. So if your video is really, really dark and I can barely see you, or it's really like fuzzy or hazy and I can barely see you, you're going to lose 50%. So because I'm having to really strain to be able to see what's going on in your video. And so there are other things that you are going to have to abide by as well, such as panning to show your audience, things like that. So you will need the equipment, which will be a phone, preferably that can record, but you can also use a camera that has video recording and sound recording capabilities. Everybody pretty much nowadays uses a phone, that's fine. I recommend getting a tripod. That makes it to where if you have someone holding the camera, it's going to shake. 50% penalty applies. So be sure that you have a tripod. It's sitting on a table. You can get a cell phone tripod for like $5 on Amazon. They also have them at like Best Buy and places like that. So it's very easy to get your hands on one. I just recommend going to Amazon. And so there are lots of other things that are like before you give the speech, at the beginning, during the speech, after the speech, recording tips, and then how to upload. And so I have a separate video showing you how to upload to YouTube. But once again, they have to be uploaded to YouTube. That link also has to work. So if you submit a video and it comes back and it says the link is broken and I cannot watch the video and your classmates cannot watch the video, it's an automatic 0 because essentially, for all I know, you didn't even really submit anything. So before you submit it, you need to make sure, like, check for multiple devices. Like, can I see this video on my phone? Can I see it on my computer? Can my boyfriend or girlfriend see it on their device if they're not signed in? Whatever. We need to be able to see your video in order for you to get your points and then also for your classmates to be able to comment. So that's just a little bit about the syllabus. Popping back over to the online class really quickly just to show you where some things are, and then we'll be done because I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk. So you see the class is organized in weeks. On the syllabus, it was also organized in weeks. So everything that you have to do will be contained within that week folder. So you click on it and it will take you to all the things that you have to do. If it says Chapter 1 presentation, those are my lecture notes that if you were in a face-to-face class, I would be going over those with you. You can feel free to use my lecture notes as well to write your chapter summaries. You can't just copy them, so it's very important. On chapter summaries, so you will do a whole lot of chapter summaries, I think 14 in total, and they have to be roughly about a page long for every chapter that you have to do. We don't go in order of the book, so I do jump around, so make sure that you are writing the one for that given week. And something very important about the chapter summaries is I give you, first of all, absolutely no plagiarism. So if you find another chapter summary online, or if you think you're just going to copy from the book or whatever, or from my lecture notes, it's not going to fly. It's going to go through a plagiarism checker. But before the actual due date, you are allowed to submit it to the plagiarism checker. It will flag everything that needs to be changed, needs to be paraphrased better, and then you have the opportunity to change it. So you have this like self-check that's built in. So there's absolutely no reason that you should turn something in that's plagiarized, because you have the ability to submit it and check to make sure that nothing is being flagged as plagiarism. So just know. Also, you can only have one line of quotes per chapter summary. So you cannot pull like 5, 6 long quotes and think that that's going to be enough. And so it's double spaced, 12-point font, 1-inch margins. So it should be relatively easy to do. And I'll give you not only the rubric that I'll be using, but also an example. So if you click on the assignment down here, I have the example summary and the summary rubric. So that will make up like 140 points of the class, almost 20%. So those take the place of your quizzes. And so as you go throughout the weeks, you will see there will start to be a lot of discussion boards. It's an online class. Discussion boards are very standard in online classes. Some weeks will be mainly just a summary. Some weeks, the test. So you have Chapter 4 summary, then your introduction video, assignment sheet, and rubric. I will be posting a video showing you how to make that introduction video, so don't stress out. I have my introduction video for you to watch as your example and to get to learn a little bit more about me. And then right here you submit the introduction spark video and respond to your classmates. So what will happen will be, and it will be this way with every speech, is that the video, the YouTube video or whatever, or in this case the Spark video, will be due on a certain date. And then within a few days, you have to go on and comment on at least 2 of your classmates' posts. So you will click right here on the reminder that says submit responses to classmate videos. When you click here, it will show you the rubric that I will be grading your discussions based on. So you have to make 2 posts, 2 response posts, and you can get up to 5 points per post. And so you can see I have a very detailed rubric. It does get to the point where if it's so late that you're down to less than 2 points, which is an F grade. And so make sure that you're following the rubric, make meaningful posts, make positive and negative comments, but do so without being hateful or hurtful. So that's a little bit about the first couple of weeks that you're going to be going through in the class. And then finally, just something that's very important is the calendar down here. So you'll be able to see the calendar and you'll be able to see how all the dates are flagged. So the way things fall due in this class, with the exception of midterm and final week, the way things fall due is always going to be on Sunday and then Tuesday and Thursday. So it's set up like a Tuesday-Thursday class, but there will also be things due on Sunday. So that is just a little bit about the class, a little bit of how to navigate Moodle and some of the high points from the syllabus. Please feel free to email me if you need anything from me or you need any more information or if you're unsure. Thanks, guys.